And White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki seems to have a new go-to phrase when asked tough questions. Watch.
China has to make a decision for themselves about where they want to stand and how they want the history books to look at them. It's a question of where you want to be as the history books are written. Think about where you want to stand when the history books are written. Every country should think about what side of history they want to be on.
Joe Concha's here to weigh in. Joe, why do we get these passive-aggressive and very obviously, as we saw, very rote responses to questions from this White House when, I don't know, compare it to what we're getting out of Ukraine. Each day it's a new Churchillian statement from their leadership.
Yeah, that's a great comparison, Todd. I always thought that the go-to saying for the press secretary was "and one time at band camp," but now that appears to be replaced by something else here. Jen Psaki is someone who recently told Rob Lowe on his podcast that she was binge watching The West Wing. You remember that as an NBC drama back from the 90s about a Democratic presidential administration consisting of the very best people on the planet that solves complex problems through soaring rhetoric while taking on evil Republicans. And look, in the end, she talks about how does China want to be seen in the history books. China is a communist dictatorship. They don't really care very much about how they're going to be seen 50 or 100 years from now in the history books because they write their own history books. And Jen Psaki didn't have a good answer here besides the boilerplate stuff because President Biden isn't pressing China specifically on Russia because China sees the Ukrainian invasion, that insidious invasion, as an opportunity perhaps if they help Russia now, maybe they'll own Russia in terms of everything that they do economically and militarily. So the bottom line is that the press secretary and Jen Psaki needs to do a better job than just resorting to this is how they want to be seen in the history books. I don't think so. It's not going to have any real teeth very much here, as I'm making a very obvious statement here, Carly.
Well, not to be outdone, Vice President Kamala Harris, she was in Louisiana yesterday, and I guess she was feeling pretty nostalgic. Listen to this.
We were all doing a tour of the library here and talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
And then, Joe, Georgia Congressman Austin Scott, he posted a tweet, said there has been too much passage of time with nothing being done when it comes to border security.
Wow, that's pretty good, and it's very accurate, right? Remember, Kamala Harris about 1 year ago was made border czar, and she was assigned to fix the catastrophe at the U.S. southern border, and all we see are more and more migrants coming over illegally. She doesn't talk about that much anymore. The administration doesn't, because they're polling at something like 23% in terms of the way they're handling the U.S. southern border, which is essentially open right now. Look, I have a quote in my little home basement studio here, and I think that it really sums up Kamala Harris's whole obsession with talking about time. She says, it is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. You remember that about COVID, right? It's right next to my Reagan's Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Naturally.
So, yeah, when she goes out of prompter, it's a lot like her boss. Never ends well, and I think that's why so many voters see her ill-equipped for the job, and she certainly is not a very good plan B for President Biden if he decides not to run in 2024.
Yeah, Joe, I was going to add that it may be time for Kamala to bar her boss's teleprompter, so we don't get these word salad appearances every so often. All this as the 10th person from her staff now hitting the doors. This is beyond attrition at this point. This is a problem. Joe Concha, never a problem, always a revelation.
And always on time.
Always on time. He's got to watch. Thanks, Joe.
Joe. We appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.